Arnell here at WARCAT Strength, and today I'm going to deadlift and we're going to talk a little bit about moving forward. Okay, we're going to get into the warm-up. We're going to deadlift today, and I'm looking for 250 kilos or 551 pounds. So this is a big number for me because this is my PR, or my meet PR from last year when I was kind of a fat boy, maybe like 30 pounds heavier. So I thought when I started my cut like a year ago-ish that I can be just a strong lighter, but so far it hasn't really fucking worked because I failed this lift maybe 3 times already this year, and so my confidence is at an all-time low. So today should be solid. But with this, I was thinking like, you know, it's very on theme with a lot of the stuff that's been happening this year. So meaning like, I mean, you guys should know that we're in a pandemic. I don't know if you've heard, but there's like the coronavirus that shut gyms down. So California, especially like the Bay and SoCal, we've got hit pretty hard, and we've been trying our best to try to work through this. And I know a lot of other owners would agree that it's kind of tough because, you know, unless you have the space to make an outdoor area, because outdoor businesses are allowed, it's really tough if you don't have that kind of space, especially here where, you know, most gyms are a little bit smaller, or like private strength gyms are smaller. So some of the regulations that we've been told to follow are, you know, obviously masks on. There's nobody here right now, so that's why I don't have masks on. And I mean, it's not mandated you have to, but we have all of our members spray down their equipment when they're done, make sure that everybody's like 6 feet apart. We limit the size of the population at any given moment, so meaning that we have people reserve spots, and we have 3-hour blocks, so that's nice, but you know, we obviously can't fill up our gym like we used to. What's been really cool is that even through like trying to make it work, even with all of the restrictions, all of our members have been compliant and working with us, working through it, and people just want to work out, honestly. Everybody just wants to work out, find a way. So the county said that they were going to open up the first time around July. So this was like a couple months into quarantine, and so we were all really excited. We were all prepping, getting ready, getting all the regulations and rules together. So meaning like, you know, we bought the sanitizers, we bought the wipes, the towels, the masks, all that kind of good stuff. But that lasted for 2 days, and then they closed it all back up again. So we were like super freaking blue balled there from the county, but it's fine, you know. We got shut down, and then we're like, okay, well, we gotta find a new way then, you know. So I mean, I'll be honest, it was very like disappointing and depressing because it's really uncertain times, because it affects everybody from like the members to us to the landlord to the banks and stuff like that. So somebody's got to get paid somehow. So thankfully all of us were able to work together, whether it's us asking the members to bear with us or to work with us. A lot of people held on to memberships, which we really appreciate. A lot of people donated. Our landlord helped us with rent, worked with us to kind of manage how we're going to pay back, you know, rent that we're unable to put up. That gave us a little bit of hope that, you know, as long as we can continuously put out some new ideas, we'll eventually find a solution that works, right? We were following regulations, then they opened up the county, then they closed the county, and then we figured, okay, we got to make an outdoor area. We were trying to hold off on this as long as possible because just the location that we're at, even though we're blessed with having a big parking lot and space to do that, we don't really have a secure location where we would feel confident in our equipment not being stolen, and we didn't really have the means to create some kind of like barrier to keep people out and stuff like that. And you know, a lot of our equipment is very expensive and high end, and we didn't want to ruin that. And so it was kind of a tough call, but I think it was the right one. we were able to get the outdoor setup within a week, maybe like 4 days. With the help of our members, we were able to move this giant ass rig out into the parking lot, and you know, that was not easy, but it was painless though. We set up racks, portable racks to put outside. We put a bunch of weight trees out onto the pallet jacks, so that'll be easier for people to access weights. We set up a storage area so people can easily bring things in and out of the gym. So yeah, with 11,000 square feet outside, we were pretty happy with the space that we had. We worked with our neighbors to fence off an area. We bought a shit ton more equipment, meaning like we got more bars, more weights. We got a bunch of canopies. So, you know, we wanted to make sure that the outdoor experience was going to match what people can get inside. And even though, yeah, it's not like training inside, I don't know, like I said, people will still find a way to come and train. So they came and they trained in the heat, uneven ground. You know, people made it work. So to make matters worse, California is on fire. It was actually like Fallout orange red last week, 2 weeks ago. So air quality was really bad. The AQI off the hook, you know. But like I said, people who train find a way. There's still people training here, like without skipping a beat. People are still coming in and getting their work done. So, you know, even though you know, we told people that, hey, the air quality is bad, so if you're training outside, you know, just keep that in mind. People still came and trained. You know, I'm sure people minded, but I mean, that just goes to show people really care about training. So, last week, we got a notification in news that gyms were allowed to open 10% inside. So, again, we were super excited. And for me, I was like, oh!
Jesus Christ. What part of the warm-up is that?
I wasn't trying to do that, I swear to God. We were allowed 10% inside. And so in the beginning, I was like, oh, you know, maybe it's just one of those, you know, things. But then I was thinking, oh, this might be the real deal. So we moved into the red zone or something like that. I think that's what they're calling it, red zone or whatever. Anyway, so 10% inside. So we're like, okay, cool. With the space that we have inside, we can allow, what, 10 to 15 people? So we're like, okay, let's not take advantage. Let's try to make sure that everyone's still social distancing and everybody's still following protocol, stuff like that, because we don't want to go back to shutdown, okay? So, you know, we allowed 10% in, 15 people max. Everybody's still cleaning up after themselves, staying 6 feet apart, all that kind of good stuff. And the outdoor area is still open. So I think right now, we're in a good spot to make a comeback or a bounce back, you know. And it just sucks because you know, there's some gyms that throughout this quarantine were unable to you know, keep going. Even though we're in a little bit of debt right now, that's something that's we can work through or work with. But you know, to be honest, when things were getting pretty tough in the beginning, it would jokingly, so you know, people are watching this in panic, I was thinking like, man, if we sold all of our equipment right now, because equipment is going for very high prices right now. If we sold all of our equipment, we could break even from our debt, pay off our contract, and just be done with WARCAT. But you know, that was just a very brief moment when things were getting kind of bad, and then I was just like, what? Can't do that shit. Can't give up. I don't know. There's a lot of people that are relying on the gym to stay open, and the community is just too good. You can't just give up on that, right? So.
Are you gonna give up on your deadlift today?
I might give up on my deadlift. No, I won't give up on my deadlift today. I was thinking about it though. I don't know. Every time there's a big thing that I know is gonna come up. I mean, I feel like a lot of people think that is like, I think I might just give up, or I might just bail out of it. But you know, I think that if you keep at it, the payoff and the joy that you feel after you're kind of free of that worry and that obstacle, I think it's definitely worth the trials that you have to go through. So even though I'm really nervous about this deadlift that I failed too many times this year, I have a good feeling about it. So with the deadlift, you know, I failed it too many times because I think that my strategies going into them were just not right, you know. I thought that losing weight, I didn't really think too much in the whole like leverages thing, like your leverages change when you lose weight, but you definitely do. It's a real fucking thing. So if there's any of you guys out there that's trying to lose weight and think like you can just lift the same way that you've been doing, you're in for a rude awakening, my friend. Because the technique that I used to deadlift with doesn't work now. I'm fucking breaking my back out here. I think that I was too impatient to try to get back to my old strength, that I kept on doing heavy singles in the beginning, trying to just, you know, I can still do it. Like what? Like what the fuck? I can still, you know, I can lift this, but I've lifted this before. I should be able to do it again, you know. So inside I'm just thinking like I can, but physically can't. Or I couldn't, right? I didn't take the time to perfect a new way of lifting or new form and stuff like that. And you know, I'd like to say that like being in a caloric deficit for like, I feel like a whole year or whatever has been pretty tough to kind of manage. But you know, it hasn't played such a huge role in versus the programming part, because like I said, I think pride of lifting was too high, so I wouldn't like back down on sets and stuff like that. So I was failing more than succeeding, so that accumulated too much fatigue, where I just wasn't finding any momentum forward. But what has been working as of recently is actually doing less, right? So I took time off of doing heavy singles, like maybe like 4 months, and I actually stopped doing the deadlift for 3 weeks and was only doing like clean deadlifts, so with heels and stuff like that, at lighter weights. And you know, I've been feeling pretty good the past couple of weeks, so I thought, you know, now might be the time.
Come on.
It felt surprisingly good. Like the green before the yellow felt a lot tougher than this one actually. I think the adrenaline just kicked in at the right moment.
Nice.
But I don't know, it feels sweet because that's the first time I hit that this year. I feel that like three times this year, but pretty solid. First time doing this at this body weight, so kind of happy that you know, we did it. So I think it's a nice little reminder that, you know, even though there's like roadblocks or obstacles or shit like that, like, you know, if you find some new ways or new solutions, you know, it might be tough or like disheartening or whatever, but the payoff's worth it in the end. So just like with the gym, all the bullshit that's going on and all the craziness, you know, everything's gonna work out in the end if we just keep on trying. So, you know, hopefully you guys could stop by. We're doing day passes. We're open for new members, and we got our new tanks dropping on Monday, so watch out for that. See you in here. Thanks for watching.